heart, I'll be back, you could bet your life. And if I can't come, I go send my wife. And then he'll tell you, he really wants her to come, to drink some rum and have plenty fun, in this great island in the sun. For Trinidadian, as foreigners do recall, it doesn't matter whether you're big or small, or if you're rich or poor, friends, we cater for one and all. Trinidad is my land, and of it I am proud and glad. But I can't understand why some people just talk it bad. But I know all of them we running them out. Don't know where they're talking about. They would paint your black every day, and the right things they would never say. Like all it's the greatest one of the kind. Oh, sugar, it's really refined. So you see, friends, it's a real woman's mind. They don't talk some nonsense. Me and know where they're doing it for. Oh, so much violence. Man, you swear that we fighting war. We have delinquent faith. But just like any other place, look, things that I say about here, it's really too much for me to bear, because my people are daily making progress without any form of stupidness. And in this way we must gain success. For when we move in, we all but one body, no difference between you and me. For our policy stand for equality. Now when I'm doing spending much time in this lovely isle, every day you see him, he always have a hearty smile. When time is up to start, you would say with pride in heart, I'll be back, you could bet your life. And if I can't come, I go send my wife. And then he'll tell you, he really wants her to come, to drink some rum and have plenty fun, in this great island in the sun. For Trinidadian, as foreigners do recall, it doesn't matter whether big or small, or if you're rich or poor, friends, we cater for one and all. So all of them were talking, they either drunk or they staring mad. They would paint your black every day, and the right things they would never say. Like our sportsmen being rated among the best, our scholars have sit and passed every test, and put us right alongside the rest. But then our pitch lake is the greatest one of its kind. Our sugar and oil is really refined. So you see, friends, this is a real thing, Solomon's mind. They just talk some nonsense. Me ain't know where they're doing it for. About so much violence, man, you would swear that we fighting war. Of course, we have we delinquents to face, but just like any other place, look, things that I say about here is really too much for me to bear, because my people are daily making progress without any form of stupidness. And in this way we must gain success. For when we move in, we all move as one body, no bickering between you and me. For our policy stands for racial equality. Now when a stranger spending a little time in this lovely isle, every day you see him, he always have a hearty smile. When his time is up to depart, he would say with pride in heart, I'll be back, you could bet your life. And if I can't come, I go send my wife. And then he'll tell you, he really wants her to come.
Oh yes, indeed, President. Good night to all and sundry. Yes, indeed, I thought we should put in a bit of patriotism, because our twin island state, is now seen as impossible or an elusive or a delusionary state, meaning that the question is being asked if Trinidad and Tobago is a real place. But of course, those of us who are conscious, those of us who are patriotic, those of us who are committed, of course, to the hard work that is required to, of course, salvage what is Trinidad and Tobago, we need, of course, to let the world know that by 2025, Trinidad and Tobago will be, of course, a real state and therefore a place that they can visit. A pleasant good night to all and sundry, East, West, North, South, Central, of Friends and Tobago. And welcome to the Corridor Transformation.
And as you know, Carnival is the greatest frolic on
Yes, indeed, a pleasant good night to all and sundry once again. And I thought it was important, of course, to at least change the atmosphere, change the attitude, change the perception. And of course, while that is coin and song, but certainly it imbues a sense of optimism, a sense of hope, a sense of commitment, a sense of patriotism, a sense of even jingoism. Of course, totally ironic and, of course, contradictory, as well as the antithesis to what Rowley and they and his criminal gang, a bunch of thieves, are prepared to do. You see, we have another important piece of information that confirms that is a bunch of miscreants and kleptocrats that is at the helm of our affairs. Let's go straight to the lines. Pleasant good night. Pleasant good night. Pleasant good night.
Pleasant good night.
Yeah, pleasant good night to you.
Yeah, you get a chance to watch it. Yeah, you get a chance to watch the clip, but it's with the vaccine thing.
The vaccine thing, yes. Briefly, but I will be, of course, dealing with it tonight because I'm so tied up with the moving of the office that I've not been able to settle down. In fact, tonight I have totally unprepared, but of course, as a good Boy Scout, you always have to adapt and adjust. But I'll get around to it tonight because I have a little more time tonight. All right? Yeah. Anything else?
Okay then.
Okay.
Right,
then,
yeah.
Yes. Yes, indeed. So, of course, what are some of the issues? Well, Trinidad and Tobago, as we have said before, is sinking, of course, not yet to the rock bottom, but of course, we have to find a port of salvation. We have to, of course, provide some kind of docking facility to salvage and to redeem Trinidad and Tobago. It is called, of course, a dry dock in, of course, maritime terms. But the fact of the matter is that we are nearing there, not yet rock bottom. Rowley, if we leave them there, will certainly, of course, engage. Because as we knew today, if you listen, of course, the ground report this morning, you would have seen that another despicable conduct, another despicable act, another despicable attempt to thief people. Imagine the parliament was convened to address the transparency with respect to the Dragon gas deal. The parliament was convened and debated a private motion put there by the opposition Senator Wade Mark on the question of transparency as far as the Dragon deal is concerned. And anybody who, of course, is familiar with this administration and how it operates, anybody that is familiar with the history, the chronology, since 2015, of how Rowley and they execute their politics. And anybody who, of course, are paying attention to political developments and economic developments, one, of course, impacting the other, you would draw the inescapable conclusion that it is a bunch of conmen, criminals, kleptocrats, and persons who clearly have not only lost their way and are prepared, of course, to cover up, to attempt to smoothen off by deflection and deception and illusions and innuendos, and of course, rank and unadulterated hoax, as well as, of course, phantom projections to suggest that they are not criminals. They themselves saying that, whilst the whole world knows that they are. I mean, it is pathetic, and clearly it is a wicked, a dangerous, and the existential threat to Trinidad and Tobago today is Rowley and his bunch. They have weaponized government against the people, and as we know now, against the economy. They are sabotaging the economy of Trinidad and Tobago and attempting, of course, to somehow, by some square peg and wrong hole logic, some incongruent nonsensicality, some kind of a situation that could only be characterized or characterize them as in a state of cognitive and intellectual decline. Let's go straight to the line. Pleasant good night. The economy of Trinidad and Tobago. Pleasant good night.
Good night, Lennox.
Night to you.
Good night, Lennox.
Good night to you.
How you going, boy?
Well, of course, as
yes,
usual.
How you going?
Fighting up.
But I say you will be down in the government campus with the PNM tonight.
Me?
You know what you doing here? I see you down there having a nice one and jam down there because I will be party here.
Yeah, but that is poison ivy. It's poison ivy we're talking about, and I'm not prepared. I'm not prepared, of course, to soil or to in any way infringe on what is pure and pristine, and that is where we are today. Go ahead, my friend.
All right. If you say so. Lennox,
yeah.
That thing you're talking about there, I hear is about $65 million US, and I hear the government signing on the closure clause. But Stuart Young saying it's not so with regards to the amount of money. But still, he can't tell you how much money it is.
No,
so,
because it's non-disclosure.
What really wrong with these people and them? Yeah, it's non-disclosure. So if the find out the money. If the opposite Christians find out how much money it is, right? You think them going to deny how much it is? Yeah? They would say nothing. There's
beginning our broadcast
under the table payment for Maduro Day to go and do this dragon gas deal.
When the commissioner was asked of the
but Lennox, I was saying about Jack Warner last week, or even the matter in the Supreme Court with regard to this extradition business.
Yes.
Right? Lennox, this government spent $7.5 million trying to extradite the man.
Wow.
That is a private matter, right?
Yeah.
The government of Trinidad and Tobago have no right to get involved in that. It's supposed to be Jack Warner versus the United States of America. The United States of America have to indict Jack Warner to extradite him. They have to come down here and they have to go before the court and they have to spend their money, not the government of Trinidad and Tobago. So I see Jack Warner bring up that day where the government was on a witch hunt to get him out. But apparently he didn't know that when he just switching sides to support them in the 2015 election. He now know that. So I hope he he grow up and put on the jacket now and go and sue them, right? For the malicious thing they was trying to do. Because they're using taxpayers' money to attack Jack Warner for him to get extradited only because he's a UNC. You feed this government easy, if you don't pay them easy, they rather spend $7.5 million to get rid of Jack than to pay $1 to these 4 divers family. They're so wicked. I will tell you that I why karma falling on this country, you know. The week before Rowley even go to America, right? The deal was still on, you know. After he come in Parliament and talk about the fisherman the 4 divers can't get no money, that same weekend, this whole thing bust with Banduro and company. And look what happened now. No drug and gas deal again. He go like continue doing the foolishness. He go to eat. He got the bread the devil need, and we go suffer too because of the nastiness they're doing. Have a good day now.
Yes, indeed, my friend. Yes, indeed, my friend. Yes, indeed, my friend. So well, should I say accurate, so well versed, so well aware as to what the contemporary scenario is. Yes, people, of course, Jack Warner is the beneficiary of a decision made by the United States Court. The Supreme Court says that of course, dishonest type of well, fraud is dishonest. So let's say a particular type of fraud, the type of course has eluded me for the time being, but Warner is the beneficiary of that decision made by the Supreme Court in the United States, not by anybody who was connected to FIFA, but by an entirely different adjudication, or should I say ventilation of a particular matter that went to the Supreme Court. And what the Supreme Court said, because it had to do with a senator from the United States. And of course, the court said that what Warner and they would charge under is no longer law. In other words, the long arm of the United States cannot reach beyond its boundary. And so they had no right to charge and to indict, of course, Jack Warner and others for what clearly is a private company, FIFA, and what the hell the United States investigators have doing, or they have no business in FIFA's business. And so the courts made it very clear that, of course, in those circumstances, all the matters relating to FIFA and those persons who were even jailed and who confessed and paid sums are now looking to get back their money. Yes, indeed. Oh, what a tangled web we weave when we first set out to deceive. But maybe the Americans were honest in their attempt. But we know too that because they were deprived the World Cup that they thought that they and Canada, I believe, would have jointly hosted, and went to Qatar, and then of course one went to Russia. They have, of course, they believe that they have been slighted and these people are too powerful and therefore they had to bring them down. Well, today now we see where Jack Warner is the beneficiary and he can talk as much as he wants now. And Rowley and they, once again, shame on them. Shame. They are now in the backwaters and they are scrambling now for every single political sinew or life that they could get, because they are now clearly in the realm of political kobos, these political assassins and these political, of course, Jurassic and evil. They are now, of course, scrambling, and the PNM will crumble. The PNM will collapse under this, of course, a very evil, wicked, vindictive, and heartless government led by a heartless and stone-hearted man who cares nothing. But I'm going to tell you, he's a blasted coward, you know. When Kamala Prasad Bisesa before the 2015 elections brought evidence against him. True, of course, Vanilla Toppin from Tobago. And he then pretended to be a victim. Oh, they bring up his mother and his father. He told the population as well about the ground report. When I was, of course, for 2, 3 years, 4 years, calling him a rapist and a pedophile on 104.7. He eventually found a way to try to mash up the cube in order to get rid of the pigeon. Notice, and all the time I'm taunting him. Send a pre-action protocol letter to me. Defend your name, Rowley. Rowley will never do it. In fact, I think in the 2019 local government elections, when a fella on the platform, a candidate of the UNC, call him a raper man, he said he's going to sue. And when, of course, I called the young man and I told him I will give him an affidavit saying that he heard it from me. And therefore, Rowley said he had court closed and he said that he will not forgive the guy. A fellow called Thomas will not forgive him because he has to put a stop to it. When I say on radio that I'm going as a witness, Rowley gone quiet, silent, and pretending that it didn't exist. It's just a matter of time. A pleasant good night.
Good night, Mr. Lennox, Miss Valls.
Good night to you. Good night to you.
I want Warner now to offer a plane ticket for Stuart Young.
Yes.
Right? I want him to offer a plane ticket and a plane to Lego America now. Let's face the FBI. That is what Warner should come up and now want to Stuart Young. I will buy your ticket and sell you that plane. Right? Then, know their own ugliness and their own life biting them now. Rowley feels he would have done that, obey all the rest of his life to gain power, but he cannot fall back on himself.
Yeah. The man is total caca, total, of course, filth, and of course his putrid nature, stench all the way to deep hell. But let's say, of course, the shenanigans that has been unearthed by the opposition.
Not one with experience in national security. The Police Service Commission must be hauled before a Joint Select Committee on National Security to bring their report card, bring their assessment forms, and let us go through to see what was the result of the interview. What was the result of all the processes? Who ranked first, second, third, that they arrive at Erla Christopher? Erla Christopher didn't take a taxi and go to the commissioner office, you know. She was put there by the Police Service Commission making that recommendation. That is how she was put there. And the Police Service Commission must be hauled before JSC on national security to explain, because we are informed that in an area called interview, the mark was 50. That two members of the Police Service Commission gave Erla Christopher 49 marks and 50 marks out of 50 respectively, that toppled her to the top. We are asking, who are those commissioners? How could they have given her that mark, which clearly sent her to the top, to make her the candidate ahead of a person by the name of MacDonald Jacob, incidentally, who I must tell you, came second, so that the JSC need to interrogate the Police Service Commission immediately on their process, on their interview results, on other stages that they went through to arrive at how Erla Christopher was nominated. I leave that there, but to indicate to you that commissioners like a Police Service Commission must no longer hide behind the curtain and do what they want. A former commissioner, Police Service Commission, sent a nomination to the President House. The Prime Minister admitted he intercepted, throw it in the dustbin, so that Gary Griffith will no longer continue as Commissioner of Police. I leave that there for now. We will speak in the coming days more on this matter. The state of crime, we are all aware of what is happening. I repeat, this matter of home and spoken on this matter passionately, emotionally, and in a policy-oriented manner, where we have indicated the UNC's policy on your ground. It is the intention of an incoming UNC government to ensure that home invasion is made a specific offense that will inculcate, of course, other related offenses and be treated as a very serious offense akin to kidnapping with ransom, with a heavy jail term, so that it will deter persons from coming into the sanctity of your home, beating your wife and children, shooting the breadwinner in the family, holding you hostage in your own home, and all the traumatic experiences that flow from that. That must stop now. And I assure you that a UNC government will deal with crime, will deal with law and order within 6 months of returning to office. We are clear. We have the strategies. We have been speaking on this for years now. Whether it is the emergency E999, whether it is the Joint Army Police, whether it is the Community Comfort Patrol, whether it is using technology, and of course providing those who qualify with firearms so they can defend themselves and their family and their property. We will provide firearms to persons who qualify and ensure they can defend themselves. No bandit want to go into a home and when he opens the front door to rob somebody, he's faced with a homeowner with something pointing in the middle of his forehead. No bandit want that. And that is where we have to go if we are to discourage and deter this vicious and heinous home invasion attacks that we are witnessing. Before I come to one of the most important issues I'll raise today, I just wanted to make a reference in passing to the matter involving the Attorney General. Now, the Attorney General, you know an election is in the air when the Attorney General and the Prime Minister start to talk about EMBDC and live sport. 9 years, I believe, after leaving office, not one policeman has interviewed myself, certainly, I can't talk for other people, on any matter dealing with the EMBDC. Or any matter. In fact, I want to tell you, the police interview me twice in this country, and international police interview me in Miami once. All the interviews had to do with the conduct of Keith Rowley as Prime Minister. Imagine the police in the United States called me for an interview to discuss Keith Rowley. In Trinidad, police came to see me once to discuss fake oil matters, AV drilling, and so on. I can tell you that. Not once EMBDC, not once. The Attorney General beating his chest recently when contractors went to the Court of Appeal on a procedural matter involving the case filed by the PNM. And let me make that point that people don't understand. The cases in the court with EMBDC, that was filed by the PNM. It was not filed by police. PNM filed case, not police, not DPP. So the PNM put a case in court, and the contractors, some not all, made certain procedural appeals. That matter is ongoing. It may go to the Privy Council. It hasn't ended. The Attorney General beating his chest and saying they all have to go and file their defense now and face trial and so on. But it is the right of a defendant to make appeals on procedural matter if they believe that something is wrong with the case filed. And it impair their ability to file a proper defense because there is no disclosure on certain matters. That is their right. The Attorney General sounding like if he wins something. I want to remind Reginald Amor that when he was caught lying in a Miami court, he took taxpayers, he then lost. So when he was caught lying, he knew the importance of appeal. He appealed that. Used taxpayers' money from Trinidad and Tobago appeal. So Mr. Amor, more than anybody else, should know the importance of appeal, because when you were caught lying, you went to appeal that and lost. I leave that there for now. I'll say more about that. But members of the press, the real meat of the matter I wanted to raise to you today was a very serious revelation that came to us within the last few hours. And I have something in my hand, a document in my hand. And I will begin by making a statement that when the day comes, when we depend on Venezuela for accountability and transparency, we reach. Let me repeat that. When we in Trinidad and Tobago have to depend on Venezuela for accountability and transparency, we reach. Our democracy itself has collapsed. Our institutions, public institutions, have collapsed when we depend on Venezuela for accountability. This is a country, quite recently, is facing re-sanction. they are going to be resanctioned because they have upheld a ban on Maria Machado, the leading presidential candidate in the Venezuelan election from the opposition, has been banned from contesting. Ms. Machado, Maria Machado, I believe is her name. And this is a country that does that. But now we have to depend on them for accountability. In a publication, and I have it in my hand, the official Gazette of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, dated.
Of course, before we go to that, what I consider to be sordid, evil, greedy, and opportunistic, and like Cobos, picking away, not just for political reasons, but for greed, as they try to hoodwink the population to thief more money, our citizens, from their right, pretending as though the resources of the country and what they are doing on our behalf is on their own behalf. These people are conflicted. They are totally insane, and they ought to be, of course, right now, be in a blue light vehicle with handcuffs, silver bracelets, people. But Mulilal spoke of course, the matter that Limo tried to make us believe that somehow those companies that Stuart Young told us some time ago were engaged in cartel behavior, and there was something untoward about it. Totally oblivious. Don't want to tell us that before the THA elections, the Tobago House of Assembly elections, that they were engaged just before the election. They nearly empty a third of the budget in Tobago. And when they didn't get their way, because Tobago, like a no-head chicken, they are gasping for breath, and at the same time, up and down as the heavy hand of the criminal justice system and the heavy hand of the people going to vote and voting them out. They are in a state of mortal fear, and their bam is, of course, palpitating because they are living on or sitting on a powder keg. Anytime it could explode. So the organization, the PNM, no doubt, and as they go closer and closer to the inevitable 2025, trying to delay as much as they can and hoping against hope that some kind of devilish curse will come on them so as to avoid having to face the people in the elections, and of course subsequently having to face criminal charges because of their because of their misuse, abuse, and criminal conduct whilst in office, against, of course, the Integrity in Public Life Act, as well as the Larceny Act, as well as, of course, several other pieces of legislation that is of a criminal nature that, of course, they will have to face, including fraud and, of course, fraud and attempts, of course, to wash money, money laundering. They are going to get the full gambit, the full charges thrown at them because of the evil. And I don't care how old Rowley is. All you could have sympathy for him. It cannot be that a man is so blasted wicked for a whole of 9 years. And if he survives this year, it will be 10 years going into the next year, 2025, and continues to pretend as though everything is honky-dory, while he continues, of course, to try to make excuses when he is caught and try to deflect attention or remain silent. Suddenly he does get pipped. So I say to you, don't feel any kind of compassion and have no compunction to let them make a jail. Let them make a jail, because you have to consider that if it's not he, it would have been your children and your children's children, and those persons who he has fired willy-nilly, and the abuse of our resources as they have demonstrated, having met, of course, Opers. President, good night. Welcome. President, good night.
Good night
Welcome.
again.
Good night to you.
I see the government call a press conference. I see the government call a press conference, right?
Yeah.
And who I can see, Fitzgerald Hines, saying that he's seeking and he's bringing international help to protect the people of this country for carnival. What's wrong with these people, Lennox?
I tell you,
After carnival, it's free game. Then it's free game.
I think they should put up.
TV Wonder can tell you when carnival comes. The pain of the own comedy fest, so I expect that.
That's
but
right.
I can tell you, TV One, a blind man can tell you, Lennox. They can tell you, he can tell you before carnival, the gangster and the gang-related murders, the guy, they're too tired. They partying, they're having a nice time, so they ain't have time to go killing people. They just put it off for the following week, which is our trends and continue, right? They will continue the wicked ways around that time. But all around now, so, them for that partying, they don't have no time for no killing, they take a break. And they done their rivalry for revelry. Right? They're reveling in party and sweat. So they have no time to do murders and sweat international help to come and curb crime. I want to know after the carnival done, what will happen? Because that is what these press people will be asking him. If you're talking about the whole country for carnival, why it is after carnival everybody has to suffer? So carnival is 2 days and the next 363 days is fair game for criminals and killers to kill and murder people. And this government is really a waste of time, a waste of time. They can't protect nobody. And the company come out and say they deal with all the police and them grievances. So they come out first to deal with carnival matters. Me, what does no carnival? I don't know what happened to me after carnival because they killed a lady who was a U.S. resident. And over the weekend, somebody went in the lady house and killed she. And she didn't have no help at all when they happened to she. Right? But that looked like somebody who was working for she do she that. So the alleged that she had some Spanish speaking people working for she and she claimed that they were speaking from she. And she fired them. So it could be that they know about the woman business. She's a U.S. citizen, and they killed the lady. So I don't know what will come out of that matter.
Right.
I saw that because I'm just getting lady. The police can't solve that anyway.
Yes, indeed, of course. And the only conclusion one can draw with that statement made by Hines, incompetent, impotent. He's called in Laverton, of course, the peacock, plenty flair but no depth. And they say how he normally will have a competition with alligator, bite to bite, and he always wins. And when he had to say stoops, he mouth so long that he has to say stooboops. Most people say stoops. He says stooboops. But more than that, it appears now that there's another accolade you could attach to him. Pre-Carnival Comedy Fest. You ever say? I said pre-Carnival Comedy Fest without any audition. They now come now and giving us a set of jokes. Larry Joseph clearly has competition. These jokers caricature. Bunch of nincompoops. Yes, indeed. Professor, good night. Welcome. Professor, good night. Welcome.
Hi, good night.
Good night.
Good night, sir. Yeah.
Looking at the program and I listening to that phenomenal statement,
Yeah.
I tell you, I am a Trinidadian that lived abroad for many years and migrated back to this country, raised a family, and to be honest with you, I really, really love my country. I am not politically affiliated with no political party,
Okay.
right? I would judge people based on performance, right? Now, I voted for the UNC in 2010 because Kamala got up on every podium, political podium, and said that you do the crime, you will do the time. And basically talking the same way that Munila is talking like right now, she even said we're going to bring back all the hearts and let them account for the corruption. None of those things materialized. So, PNM is definitely not an option for me. They're ruling this country. You can see, to me, you can't believe the things they're saying because they have a proven track record of they said things before that was never materialized. I think the only hope now on the horizon is now that Jack has been cleared of his charges as old as he is. I have always said that Jack is one of the only government ministers in the history of this country that really performed for the people. He really, really performed for the people. And now Michaela is available to become fresh in the politics again. I think Kamala and Munila and these old politicians need to step aside and give the younger people a chance in the UNC if they want the UNC to progress. Because there's a lot of bright heads in that UNC party. But it is being run like a dictatorship.
I
The
mean,
leadership is not giving the young ones a chance. So,
you have taken a position, so
call me one of those
bright
on the
ones.
center.
Who would you put? Who would you put? Who would you put? Name some of the people. You said that they are young, bright people. Assuming that
you have Anita Hayes, you have Naked, you have. Yes. I just called some names. Felicia, Anita, Naked, you have this guy from Sour, you have the other guy from well, I wouldn't want to say on TV, but there's a lot of people.
And you
right?
see them
people
as leadership
young people, vibrant people, and they're not given the opportunity.
All right. Okay.
Well, listen, at some point in time, we have to give the young people a chance, We have to.
I'm not saying no, but I just want to get your rationale behind it, which of course to say that they are young, full stop, is not what I would be looking for. I'd be looking for more than that. If you're talking to me, they just can't be young and then go into leadership. I mean, come on. That's why I asked the question. Name them. And if you are satisfied that there's a sufficient cadre of experience to, of course, take on this challenge.
They have been into politics for a while, and they've been doing good in their constituencies.
All right. All right. Thank you. That's it.
Okay. Have a good night.
Yeah. Same to you. Of course. Maybe you could call back food for thought. Would you say then that Kamala is not doing good in her constituency if that is the basis on which you are laying the claim that younger blood should, of course, come to the fore to lead? Are you saying that Munilal is too old? Are you convinced that Munilal is an old man, comparatively speaking? Those are some of the what I consider to be the interrogation a person like myself will want to give, because clearly experience is the best teacher as far as I know, and if it is that one doesn't have the experience or need more experience, and not just on the basis of I'm young, but of course categorizing Muilal as old, I think you'll have a challenge. Pleasant good night. And Mr. Smith.
Okay, so I'm calling back. I'm calling back, Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, Mr. Munilal, I would root him to be one of the older heads in the politics. And let us be frank, most of the older heads in the politics in this country, they're involved in some kind of corrupt activities.
Oh, I see.
Right? I think what would be a good way to maybe go is get Makila involved back in the UNC.
All right. And since you said that
let's lead the young army into
But do you have any thoughts about the PNM?
No, because I would lean more towards the UNC now because, like I said, Mr. Smith, there is bright young heads in my party, but you know they're not being given a fair chance, and they are hardworking. Some of them work very hard, and they're hardworking women.
All right, thank you. I have another call. Thank you very much. Yes, no problem. I found it very strange that, of course, if he started off by saying that he is neutral, then I would have expected he would have had a view on the PNM. And they are young and old there as well, and I would have loved to get a balanced view. But, all right, he preferred to focus on the UNC. All right, I think most people do. Most people do. And that tells a story by itself. But that's all right. A pleasant good night. Welcome.
Pleasant good night, Lennox Smith.
Yes,
good program. I now come over from the UNC Monday night report.
Yes.
Come over to you.
Okay.
I want to make this contribution. When the caller before, not bashing anybody.
Yes.
It is state our hospital.
I hear you.
And what I want to say, this historical thing with Austin Jack Warner, honorable.
Yes.
No media house not carrying it.
We'll deal with it tomorrow extensively.
Nobody not carrying it. Something historical as that, which that's supposed to be in the public domain because they spent a lot of money. They say they wanted to extradite the honorable Jack Austin Warner for African people, for the people of Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah.
Right? And I just want to call and say that continue the good work that you are doing. I called last night to make a contribution, and I will call every night to make the contribution once you on air because you are doing the people's business. And they could come in all forms and fashions on the whatever it may call. We will deal with the PNM.
That's right. That's right.
Bless one and continue to do the good work.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. Yes, indeed. Of course, I saw some other calls on the other phone. If you can call, because you see there are so many clashing and we don't have a sort of wait system or a number system where, of course, you can delay, etc. So you'll have to take the chance and call. So any call that was coming on my direct phone, well, you can do so now. I recognize the call, but I was on another line and on another phone, so it would have been very difficult, of course, to engage both of them. We would have lost, of course, the essence of what we are attempting to do. But let's go straight, of course, to back to Muilal. I merely made the point that both the commissioner of police was given what I consider to be a favorite status or favorite person opportunity to become commissioner of police, totally unqualified, clearly. But let's go straight to the lines. Yes, indeed. Let me just go to this one. A pleasant good night. Welcome. Hey. Yes, yeah, very good. Yes.
All right. That brother who just called you there just now?
Yeah.
Don't study. He come to distract the number one program in the night.
I hear you.
Right?
Yeah.
Right now in America, have plenty young Republicans. But you know who they want? Donald Trump. And he said, so you know why? He has the ability and the experience to forget. Right?
That's the point that's the point I was making. That's the point I was making. But you see, would you consider Munilal to be old? You want to know? But then I think he tried to say that old in the politics. All in the politics. So he sort of shift his position because if you talk about Kedisha and of course the others that he mentioned, certainly chronologically, biologically, he was referring, of course, to their youthfulness. But when he was faced with Munilal, he had, of course, to try to adjust that youthfulness to talk about all in the politics. I mean, that kind of to and fro is not stable enough for a program.
You know what I'm going to talk about that, huh?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to know if I the only stupid man in this country and everybody else smart.
Go ahead.
They're talking so much about this pepper spray thing.
Uh-huh.
And for you to get that, you have to go and display the guts to the police. How old he is, where he living with the pepper to get pepper spray?
Yeah, imagine that.
You ever get spray with that?
Yes. Yeah, most people do, yeah.
What you want better than that? What did woman want better than that? Good work, you right on your hand, on your watchman or something. But get this with pepper spray. Making it look as though the government do you a big favor to use something to protect yourself. On the hand, you that's all you want, a small thing. But get them with that crap with that pepper spray. Let them keep that to whoever bring it out to make money.
Yeah.
Let them sell it to themselves. You know what the next thing I want to tell you, Lennox?
Go ahead.
Now that Jack mine free, I hope you listen.
Yes.
I was just set a wage back today to get a throwback now. Paying tribute to Bazio Pandey, and I never realized so much of things this man do.
Right.
No, I know way that he's good friend from since 1971, eh?
Right.
And he mentioned things I even forget. Like lockdown when they find people if they get pregnant. Remember?
Yeah.
And sending them home with no salary, nothing.
Yeah.
Pandey bring the maternity act.
Right.
They have to get a 3 months maternity leave with pay and take get back the job when they come back. Pandey bring things like that. Red things he bring. So I want Jack Warner. Now that he's on top, the Sunshine newspaper, Jack, this week coming up, he will sell out. He will sell, yeah, not to lose.
Yeah, capitalize on it, man. Yeah, turn it into
Capitalize and make money.
into money, yes. Turn it into money, yes. Monetize it, yes. Yes,
And
indeed.
then, if that you just call back, do your friend a favor. Just lock you up and say, partner, BBC. Right?
Happy. I like the advice. I mean, but I don't know if it will remain our advice because we try to be as democratic as possible.
But you want to call them?
To, of course, give us an assessment. Yeah.
Tell them when you come back, say, what happened, partner? Don't come to try schools.
In that regard, but of course, I like to, of course, do what I say and say what I do. And of course, as I said, everybody have a right to speak. This is a democracy. This is a democratic program as well. Of course, I reserve the right to reject or to disagree. Well, so I don't claim to have the singular position of being all-knowing. All right? So I have no difficulty with that. A pleasant good night. Pleasant good night. Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes, go ahead.
According to the time, I listen to your callers, right?
Yeah.
And
yes.
you see, a lot, just like the PLM people, they're very party motivated, so I wouldn't expect any different from them.
But is it not true that you started off?
Right? And I forgot to tell you. No.
But is it not true that you started saying that you are objective, you are neutral, and you work according to policy that will gravitate? And then you said that you are UNC, you are UNC oriented. I mean, isn't that a conflict?
No, what people, if we have faith in one another, people have to agree to disagree, right?
I agree, but
No,
did you say that?
When,
did you say that?
No, listen. A few years ago, when they had the march, when they reopened the Red House for the Parliament, there was a lot of protests. There were different groups that marched to Woodford Square for that. I took part in that march, and let me tell you something here. What made me believe that Kamala is a weak leader? Kamala arrived in her black Prado with all these people stand up in Woodford Square protesting against the government. And I would have expected that as the opposition leader on that day, she would have maybe want to walk over to the people to find out what is the complaints and as the opposition leader, she should have met with the people and stood with them. But that never happened. Kamala just turned her back and walked into the Red House like these people didn't exist, like we didn't exist out there. And
but
most of the time,
yeah. But don't you think that you're being a bit harsh? Because I mean, here it is, her popularity in the party is, comparatively speaking, is much more than that of Rowley, for example, in the PNM.
Well, Mr. Smith, the way this country going, we need vibrant leaders with iron fist capabilities to lead this country.
But the party is saying that she is the overwhelming leader by their votes some time ago and against all challengers. So how, including of course those names that you are saying that are much more dynamic and much more leadership qualities that they may possess and all of that. So you may be in the wilderness as far as that is concerned. That's just your opinion, but it does not reflect in the facts and the statistics and the data that is out there.
All I am saying, Mr. Smith, is if she wants to be the opposition leader, she needs to be a little more tough. She needs to toughen up.
All right. Well, right? I take your point. I take your point.
And
so that's what you're really
people.
saying. All right. Okay. All right.
When she's in the parliament, she needs to represent and not just stand and say abstain for everything. Even if you had to take up your whole followers in the parliament and march out to the Red House, those are things you need to do.
But hasn't she not done that before? She did that. She did all of that.
Well, she needs to continue it, and the people will rally with her because the people disgusted with the PNM.
That's right.
This is what will rally the people around her.
All right. But don't forget, of course, you have a situation where even though they lost the election in 2020, I remember they went in with 18 seats and came out with 19. Remember, of course, they couldn't touch Sangre Grande. Now they are firmly established in Sangre Grande. And nearly all of the constituencies and electoral districts, they have either aldermen because they have made tremendous strides in terms of San Fernando, for example, and the Lavantil corporations. And even, of course, the Arima Corporation. Did you not take that into consideration?
Well, the fact is they're making strides because you know what? The truth is the PNM self-destructing. They're self-destructing.
All right, well then, better fit then. All right, better fit.
Of course it is. Of course it is. I don't even think the PNM should be in parliament. We need a third party to be opposition and a new one for government.
All right, my friend. Thanks very much. All right. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, indeed. Of course, I'm sure that he's going to sort of do some introspection and reevaluate and come again. Because of course we have seen that that to and fro shifting the goalposts a little bit and so on, but that's all right. But that is part of it. People start out with one position and then of course they end up with a different position based on the information that would have been either available to them or new information that would have come to their attention. But let's go back, of course, before we do that, let's go to our external correspondence. Of course, Ms. Santa Cruz is here, and of course, we have to give way to her. She is a part and parcel of the corridor transformation. Pleasant good night. Welcome. Pleasant good night. Welcome.
Good night to you and to everybody on the chat.
Yes, good night.
Lennox, are you hearing me good?
You're loud and clear, loud and clear.
Okay. They want Kamala to behave like Rowley. That is what. It's very disingenuous to say that Kamala never come out and greet anybody. We know that's not true. Because every time Kamala comes out there to greet the protesters, we have seen that several times. She never passed them straight. Even when we were outside, when they were on the waterfront, I don't know if you remember that, Lennox. I was there with Mr. Belmont, right? Yeah. And I took him to go and meet her.
Yes.
She came out there in the midst of all of us. She didn't go straight through the door and ignore us. No, that is not true. So I don't know where these people get these things from.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, when I come out and I say something, people want to come after me. Well, I had a good laugh today. Heavy chase somebody after he laughed. He told them don't come back. You understand? Because they came with lies, right? No. Lennox, when I saw when the people how they were laughing. Lennox, when Delcy Rodriguez came here, Rowley didn't know what she came for. We heard 1,000,001 excuses, lies, should say, 1,000,001 lies, right? Last week, I think it was in the Parliament, Stuart Young came out and said exactly why Delcy Rodriguez came, right? Now you come. All the time they were saying in between the time that the opposition were being disingenuous and to the people with misinformation, this and misinformation, that. Because we heard that she came for goods, we heard she came to talk about COVID, we heard this, that, and the other, right? Now, this thing come up yesterday, with the Shell company. Right? And the amount of money that was paid, $60 million US. Excuse me, Lennox. And now, Stuart Young is saying that they're lying to the people. But before the week is out, you're going to hear, you're going to come back, you're going to have to say who related that money. Because the opposition is letting up. All who want to take credit, on the back, there is hogwash. From the day the secret Kamala bust that mark, the Delcy Rodriguez, the UNC have been on it. And so has Anil Monilal, the whole set of Kevin Ramnarayan, as I told you last week, he was on the board with that Dragon deal.
Yes.
And next thing, Lennox.
Good.
We heard Jack Warner was exonerated.
Yes.
Right? But I am saying here tonight, I am glad it's under Rowley watch and not under Kamala watch. Because Rowley would swear up and down this country that Kamala did something to get Jack Warner off because now he came back to the UNC.
Oh, yes.
He's going to say that.
They deprive him of that opportunity to display his hogwash. Yeah, go ahead. He was deprived. I saw he vexed. Right now he vexed. He vexed too bad. Yeah.
He vexed, right? And he is going to say, because just now he said, Kamala Section 34, Kamala and the opposition caused the first gas deal to fall apart. Kamala was responsible, and that butch, that's why it's burning in hell now. The opposition was because the Sandals didn't come to the country, right? Everything is opposition. Not only crooked, making, everything is the opposition, right? And you're going to hear on the campaign trail, Kamala or somebody, the wife and she get Jack Warner off. Or Kamala whispered in somebody's ear and get Jack Warner off.
Yeah.
It never fails with Rowley. Never fails.
Comedians. A bunch of comedians.
Yes.
Hilarious.
Lennox,
To the core.
the man is so predictable.
Yes.
The man is predictable. And look at that, Lennox. The ocean blood. An 85-year-old visitor was killed in her home. And Rowley and them fit in.
Yeah.
Them fit in. You see where their priorities lie? But tonight now, Kamala and them not fit in. They have their meeting. Had a meeting in Orang West. And she was really good tonight. God as well. She was really good tonight. And she let all of them have it. Lennox, but Rowley, I don't know when he's going to get his epiphany. He said somebody touched him last year. Well, I want Manning to slap him this year.
I think he got slapped last year.
Yeah, no.
You might convert that to a clout.
Lennox, he had to get a real good whiplash, you know. I'm not condoning violence. I'm not talking about spirit there. I'm speaking about spirit, right? Something had to touch that man to bring him to his knees. And I pray every day and beg God, let me live to see it. Let me live. Because Rowley's taking advantage of the people in this country. And it must come to an end. Yeah. Anyway, Lennox, thanks so much for listening to my 2 cents, and you have a good night.
Same to you, my dear. But people, generally speaking, with rapid succession, rapid proximity, do you find that something is actually wrong with Rowley and they, because everything they say collapse, and you're seeing it now being, of course, denied and, of course, catapult with a rapidity that, I mean, is amazing. Remember, for Christmas, they said it was a gift. And then, of course, in January, because that December we're talking about it, January, they told us that, listen, everything is all right and all systems go. And they said, of course, they signed a 30-year arrangement with, of course, the Venezuelans. Although we knew that license, if all things would have gone well, would have manifest gas, let's say 4 years from now. And suddenly, all kinds of non-disclosure have become disclosures now. And they are looking bad. And yet still, a pleasant good night.
A pleasant good night.
Good night.
Fight fire with fire.
Yes.
Jack, get clear. Let Jack run the UNC. Fight fire with fire. Kamala, I mean, you know, she's a nice leader and everything. I watched she did when Pandey, they were signing the book in the Red House. They had to lift she up the chair, raise up she arms and all kind of things. Jack Warner, let he take over the UNC. Let he fight Rowley with fire. That's my talk for tonight. Let Jack take over the UNC. Let him fight fire with fire. That's my opinion, and that's how I feel about it. Have a good night.
No problem. But I'm sure he will be a formidable ally. That is what I know for sure. He may not be in the position to take over. I don't think that there are some significant elements may not want that to happen because of his sabotage or his, should I say, his self-excommunication. Because, of course, all he had to do then, as I told him and I mentioned, all he had to do was to talk to Kamala because he was not upfront when his sons were either under interrogation in the United States or maybe making some kind of, should I say, penitentiary home. He was denying it all the time, even up to the point when he won the elections, the by-elections in Shogunas. He wasn't talking the truth. So we know that now. But that is water under the bridge. I think the thing has come full circle. You have gravitated, of course, to the PNM, not as a member, but supporting Rowley against, of course, the UNC. So I don't think that is a viable option. What could happen, as is the case now, Kamla Prasad Bisesa, just as Pandey, will accommodate, will, of course, bring them in, but not as to lead. I don't see that as a feasible, rational, and common sense approach. The PNM has already, of course, engaged in copophagia, meaning that they are eating their own, not vomit, but their own filth right now. They're eating their own filth. They are in a state of discombobulation. They're in a state of enigma. They're in a state, of course, of flummox. They cannot, for whatever reason, their propaganda machinery has stalled, and they cannot dominate the narrative. Every time they try to raise their head with some propaganda, the UNC counters, and that is what I wanted, of course, before I go back to Munilal, is to notice I cannot agree that Kamla Prasad Bisesa and the present leadership of the UNC is wanting every major development to catapult the PNM. It's only because Rowley is so damn recalcitrant and so bold-faced and so idiotic in terms of his aggression being the best form of defense. That, of course, and he's there in addition, of course, to those pillars that he would have influenced and infiltrate, and people are prepared to compromise their integrity, like the DPP, like the EBC, like, of course, the Police Service Commission, like the president. So he has all those pillars there. But the UNC has been able to penetrate all of that in the present circumstance. I am not certain that Kadisha or anybody else other than Kamla Prasad Bisesa and that team at the helm of the UNC, including Munilal, including, of course, Lee, including, of course, Wade Mark, etc. I think they have been a wonderful and formidable and monolithic team that, of course, cannot be penetrated or in any way be compared, or the PNM could never be compared with them, because they are on truth. One, they're not lying, and they have been able to penetrate the secrecy of the PNM, and the PNM don't like it. They cannot dominate, and they're having a terrible time politically. A pleasant good night.
Hello, good night, Mr. Lennox Smith.
Good night to you as well.
But I laughing at how you have Rowley there, and it have people will be angry for that. Oh gosh, this picture you have there with him beer back.
Yeah,
you gonna have pressure, Lennox.
He's a rapist and a pedophile.
Well, you just say that all the time.
All the time, yes.
Yeah. You care about that. Listen now. I want to talk about Mr. Mulilal. You see, that information he come out with concerning the amount of money they have to pay before anything take place.
Yeah, 65 million.
Listen now. Yeah, it's blows now for them, Yeah, the brotherhood is blows, Watch me now. I ain't talking. Let them talk now. I listening. I don't know that. Whenever they find out, wherever they find out, you see how much years they take before they find out certain things? I ain't saying nothing. The thing getting dread now, Lennox.
Yes, of course.
It have a time for everything. It have a time for talking and a time for listening. So right now I listening. You see that money them had to pay there? They have to pay to that young man, Money lost already with that train one on the hibiscus platform. And money again, and it's money again, and it's money again. Listen, we get hold up without a gun. You think it easy, Yeah, we get hold up without a gun. Right?
Yeah.
Look at what was going on with Guyana the other day, and they fight and they get through to a point. That is the next thing undermining. This is a man you can't trust in, is from one to the next. So from now on, Miss Arima watching and she listening. It was nice.
Yes,
Take care.
Yes, indeed. But I want to make the point before we go back, of course, to Munilal, and of course to disclose that the drama unfolded with respect to the Dragon gas deal. But I want you to note the recentness of these developments. Whilst Stuart Young was telling us he gave us a gift for Christmas, they were in November creating a company, separating apart. And no doubt his brother's financial company would have been deployed to bankroll so that they try, of course, their best to keep it within the family and to keep it as a secret. But I want to also observe what Rowley is prepared to do in order to, of course, cheat and to, of course, stay politically, according to him, viable. A pleasant good night. We'll go back to my comment later. Pleasant good night. Pleasant good night.
Pleasant good night, Honorable. How are you?
I'm all right. And yourself?
Listen, Mr. Rima. All right, not bad. Mr. Rima picked me with this call because no calling to congratulate you. All the time she telling people about this thing, nobody wasn't listening to she. But it had a dumb used to call and tell she all kind of thing about which this and that and the other. Well, I hope you take out the mouth and put it on the chair and sit down on it now.
I hear you. I hear you. Yeah. She was.
Yeah, I hope you take out the mouth and put it on the chair and sit down now. Well done, Mr. Rima. Now, I thought a bonus was to get it after your work.
No.
With 65 million come up with US bonus.
We do one thing up front. He taking no chance.
These people have to be mad. These people we have here have to be mad. I don't even feel the madhouse enough for them.
Yes.
All right, my brother. Good luck.
Yeah, same to you.
You'll call again.
Yes, same to you, my friend. Yes, indeed, people. But I want you to observe how Rowley is prepared to empty the treasury to satisfy his evil intent and his evil conduct. Evil conduct. Let me repeat. Rowley is prepared to generate an illusion with our money, 65 million US dollars. Just as how he generated the illusion of 200 and something million with respect, of course, to Train 1 that brought nothing but Neil Marcy Communications under his friend who is getting contracts right, left, and center. I talk about Emil Elias and, of course, NH International. Yeah. Watch how this man is prepared to be loose and brutal, to be barbaric and wicked. Yes, indeed. With our money. And you don't understand that it's jail after jail after jail. Yes, indeed. A pleasant good night.
Hey, Lennox, pleasant good night to you and everybody in the lives.
Yes.
Good night. Yeah, am I loud and clear?
Yeah, loud and clear, my friend.
Right. What I want to find out is this, right? All amount of money that Prime Minister said that he want to get $65 million US towards this deal in Venezuela. Where is the union in all of this? Because to offer these people 4% and who take and who ain't take. I was talking to a lady today who working in the hospital, And I asked she if them is a part of the bargaining with the 4%, and she tell me no. That I think she said the union have it in the court right now. So I tell she, I say, here what's going on. All I have to pay attention to the opposition leader when I hear she talking, because Rowley and then telling only is only 4% of them all they could get, because it is no money, right? But here the kind of money going and jump up here now to seek their interests. Not the citizen interest, but their interests. So I want to know, Lennox, if you and Mikey, but I know Andy still recovering, but whoever that will have to reach out to the union and let the union and them organize boots on the ground. Because this is the second time history going to repeat itself where the PNM is concerned. They carry the country halfway to death, and then our next government had to come and rebuild it. And that is why what's his name? I think it's George Chambers. When he take over from Eric William, and the city treatment where he was getting from the people, he turned on and he said he don't want no state burial, because he realized the evil he was dealing with. So I just hope that this thing what happening here right now in this 20th century or this 21st century it cannot happen for a third time. Because if it do happen for a third time, Keith Rowley was right all the time. The people at Trinidad and Tobago are stupid. Locked on and listening.
Yes, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I mean, it's a fair statement, but I want you to know that because it was clandestine, because it was a conspirators' attempt at not just hoodwinking simultaneously, whilst of course lining their pockets and taking of course things that they have not disclosed to us under the guise of some kind of some kind of non-disclosure clause. But in Venezuela, in their government archive, in the government paper, the Gazette, they call it, just as how here in Trinidad, we have a government paper called the Gazette, where all the official activities and decisions of the government in favor of the population ostensibly will always be recorded. Well, that is where Mulilal and them got it. So how come it could be a non-disclosure clause? Because the Venezuelans would have had it under secret as well. So it is a blatant lie. And then, of course, when these fellas are caught, they're so nincompoopish, they're so asinine, they're so obtuse, they're so donkey-headed, they're so blockheaded, they can't make a good excuse. Imagine in the night when Muilan made the disclosure, and I was making the point as well, let me don't lose that. Well done, opposition. Well done. Every major issue in Trinidad and Tobago that is of concern and demonstrating the robbery of this administration of the people, it is the opposition that disclosed it. It's the opposition that disclosed it. How could you say that they are not effective enough? That is a misnomer and a figment of somebody's imagination, just like Rowley's lying ability. That is fiction. A pleasant good night.
Good night again, Lennox. I was just watching the news there, right? And I see Mariano Brown commenting on this thing with this money and all that. And you want to know where the opposition get them figures from? Because he's saying, yes, there are deals that take place and everybody know about that. But he's not justifying the $65 million. He's saying that it's hogwash or the UNC bring up. Right? And everybody know it has had to pay them kind of inducement, whatever you call it. But he's saying, all hope is not lost. I want to know if he in touch with the American government. Because what he's saying is that the license for this deal is up on October 2025, and you have until October 2025. But if Maduro keep breaking the laws in Venezuela where he signed off to and not giving the opposition the opportunity to go up for election, that will push on from now till after next year, because the Americans ain't playing games with he, where he is Dolly House are playing. Them in serious business here. That deal will not take place, although you have a license until 2025. Right now, as it stands, and he breaking the law day with regards to the opposition not being able to go up for election. This whole deal for the year finish, and if Trump gain there, it's more trouble because Trump is as lenient as Biden, you know. Trump have a hate for this man, and he will make sure that they get sanctions up to their nose. Look at CNN Venezuela, they're catching their uncle and then because of that. More hardship put upon them. They can't see their way. The people they're catching their tail, right? And Stuart Young had some kind of ceremony where he went, I think it's Charlotte Street or someplace today, and he said this year is the year of the dragon. And for the last 2 years or how much, it is only ceremoniously is that he's seeing about the dragon gas deal. I say, what stupid is this man just be coming on people's platform and talking, boy? Yeah? He talking that, as he seen about the dragon gas deal.
He
Yeah.
said he own tutu. Like tutu talk.
He's saying as he seeing what the dragon gas deal, and this year is the year the dragon, it brings similarities, and that it's no strange thing that how that happening and all. They ain't put that in the pipe and smoke it that he might not know damn dragon the gas deal to deal with at all because of what that madman Maduro doing. So they put it in the pocket because I tell you, the United States of America ain't gonna lift no ban just like that, you know. They put it in the pocket. They went to beg up in America and they get slapped in the face. America is the one calling the shot, and if they say no deal, it's no deal, and all that we suffer. Have a good night, Lennon.
Yes, indeed. But I want to be very, very clear, and let us be logical and common sense. Let me repeat. I want to be very, very clear, and let us be logical and common sense. The issue is not whether or not that is normal to have some kind of upfront payment or backfront payment, as the case may be. That is not the issue. Stuart Young and them are trying to make it look as that is the issue. No. The opposition is saying, and all of us must be accurate, must apply our common sense, God-given. Not that their common sense seems to be very lean and absent in the PNM. Common sense is not as common as one would think there. But the opposition had to, of course, tell us that there was such a deal. Whether it was 45 million US or not, that is irrelevant. What is relevant is that if it is our money, you're acting on our interest. How come you're talking so glibly about it now? Why didn't you say that up front? There was a whole debate in the Senate on the question of transparency. It's as if it was like a serendipity. It was like if it was a divine intervention. When Wayne Mark brought that matter to the Senate just last week or thereabout, and the government spokespersons had a duty and responsibility to tell us that, listen, there was this deal, and I can't tell you how much money was involved, but there's this disclosure. How the hell such something that is so public now, you now saying that that is normal, so you're legitimizing that there was no damn, let me repeat, there was no damn disclosure clause that we are saying after the fact, after the opposition disclosed it, you're now saying there was none by your what I consider to be your garrulous and your duck bottom now running narrative and orations. Hold your tail. And whether it's Mario, no Brown, or whosoever, the fact of the matter is that they had opportunities. Rowley could have told us when he came back. Young could have told us when he came back. And there was a debate in the parliament on the question of transparency about the same gas. And how the hell now you're talking as if you eat parrot bottom. Eh? It's running like duck bottom and telling us that it's normal now. But if it was normal, why didn't you disclose it so that Munilal would not have an opportunity to make it an issue today? So it is an issue. The fact that they did not say, that is the issue. Let's not mix up anything. So whether Munilal had the figures correct or not is irrelevant. Irrelevant. They lied by omission, by keeping the information from the public. And that is the issue. And therefore, that is poor governance. And therefore, one could bill into it anything that they wish, including they try to thief free money and not telling us where they're getting that 65 million from in order to give to Maduro and them up front. We're telling them about. We're telling them about. But it's normal. You eat dog bottom now. Why didn't you tell us it was normal? And Munilal didn't have to tell us. Why didn't you do that, Chochong? Mariana Brown, let them explain that, or you explain that. This opportunistic joyriding and hopscotch that all want to play. This is a democracy. This is not for you to say what we must know and what we must not know. So there is something sinister about the whole damn deal. And we could go and say they want to thief the whole treasury. That is what they have exposed themselves to because they are so dotish and so selfish and so conniving and so evil and so criminalistic and so greedy and so avarice and so self-serving. Because the alternative to that, if Munilal and they didn't disclose that, he would have remained silent and the country would have had to accept that somehow we get in the deal, but only when gas start to flow, money will start to run. That is your alternative. That is what they left us with. So let us not waste time with them super talk about it was always so. Now that the opposition doing their duty and loyal to Trinidad and Tobago have disclosed. Hold on your tail. Or they can't fool nobody. A pleasant good night. Welcome.
Hey. So correct, boy.
Of course.
You read that thing so correct. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, PNM sent out the defense.
Yeah. Yeah. All over the place now is news. But Munilal started it. And only want to say that is normal? How would he ask it is normal?
Anything Mariano Brown say, you have to take with a pinch of salt.
A truckload.
He's a man that says he's a lifetime member of the PNM.
Yeah.
So now that they get exposed here, what you doing on TV tonight in the news?
That's what I'm saying. They're trying to, of course, salvage that which is unsalvageable.
Exactly. And tomorrow morning when Mikey comes in, all this start on them again.
Of course. We tell him about. It's normal. It's normal now. Normal now that the opposition exposed all year. So it's normal now. But it wasn't normal. You didn't have the opportunity to make it normal before the the exposure so many times. Hold on your tail. All the rapscallions. Yeah?
You should call Margaret Thatcher the Iron Lady.
Yes.
The Iron Lady in this country is coming up.
Of course. Of course.
That 3 force try to tie you up. Take you up on your track where you want to run on.
Yeah. Bring them back on, man. Yes, of course. You bring them back on. You listen to them. You listen. And then, of course, you fry them in your own oil. It's very difficult for them to not get burned.
Boy, you see tomorrow morning?
Hey. I know.
I know. Yeah, but you know.
Yes.
You see when you string tie on, you know?
Yes.
That bad string, they will always make yourself a damn fool.
Yeah, you stupefy. You're talking nonsense. It is, yeah, it is enigmatic. It is illogical. There's no common sense. How the hell you could now claim that somehow you told us about what the opposition told us first that you ought to have told us before the opposition would have told us. Hold on your tail.
You know, that's what you say, you know. Who the God will destroy their first and their man.
That's what has happened there. And the nonsense that man talk in writing, and he write it there. So it means therefore he had time to think and still talk nonsense, still write nonsense. He's short young.
The police say that.
Yeah.
You know what Taylor talking about?
Yeah.
We'll talk to you after the program.
All right, yeah. It should be a mad bull. It should be a mad bull with bottle razor. Yeah. What you telling me about? Let me repeat again. The issue is not what Short Young confirmed about what Munilal said. That is not the issue. The issue is that he, Short Young, and Rowley, and all of their spokespersons on the government side had ample opportunity to let us know what is the debate now, what is in the public space now. They thought they had control of the narrative. They talk the hogwash about, of course, a birthday, a Christmas gift. They talk about a 30 years to get the gift. If you have to wait, of course, on that particular agreement. But we know we had to wait beyond 2025 to get it. But he gave us it in 2023. Those backside, those whole asses, and I want to insult our intelligence, utilizing, they can't even use semantics good. They can't even use obfuscation good. They can't even use circumlocution good. They are simply out of it. And they must understand that they are out of their league, that they have, of course, proven to be total nincompoops and asinine specimen of inhumanity, and maybe a waste of protoplasm. A waste of protoplasm. The living things that, the thing that living things are made of, protoplasm. Yeah. Waste of time. Get the hell out of office. That's what you should be doing. But it's normal. It's how we know that? How we know that? How we know it's normal? How we know that? After Munilal tell us, you are barbaric and you are the most despicable group of individuals that has ever, of course, disgraced the office of government in this country. And all of you should be rounded up, put in a blasted pirogue with several chain blocks to make certain, and let all you out in the blasted Gulf of Paria and say pleasant goodbye. That's what should happen. What you telling me about? What you telling me about? What excuse you have? How normal come in? When you said, and you still have the audacity in an exquisite and burst of course, oxymoronism. Oxymoron. But you have a double contradiction. You're saying on the one hand that Munilal information where he got it is correct, but the amount of money is not correct. But it is normal to have that, but yet still you're telling us that it is subjected to a what? A non-disclosure clause. Where you feel people are asses here? That level of nincompoopishness and tomfoolery can only be applicable to those ne'er-do-wells and buffoons. Rowley name and Short Young name and all of them. Before you call the name, they should have a prefix before all of them, you know, like sir and of course madam and so on. Well, them, every time you call the name, you should say, Bubble, Keith Christopher Rowley, Bubble, Stuart Young, Bubble, should be the prefix to their names. That's the handle you must give them. Bubble. Penelope Beckers. Yes, all of them. Bubble. Hines. Fitzgerald Hines. Bubble. Bubble Alwari. Bubble. But this one will have a double. Bubble. The Attorney General. What is his name? Limo. So Bubble Limo. Bubble Limo. You feel? This is joke. You feel? What is wrong with you people, boy? What is wrong with you, Rowley, and this bunch of fools, nincompoops, Neanderthals. Insulting our intelligence every day, and people must not respond to that nonsense. How the hell you could tell us that it's a normal thing, but is a non-disclosure? And that's what you're telling us, but you ain't telling us the real thing. And Mulal Inu, how does that benefit us? How does that benefit you? He nonetheless making you disclose something from what you say is a non-disclosure. Why didn't you shut your blasted orifice? Your oral cavity. Why did you shut it up? Why didn't you? How you could come and say he talking the truth, but he not talking the truth? How does that logically resonate? How? A pleasant good night.
Hello, good night.
Good night.
It's me again. Listen,
yes.
Look, you have me laughing too bad. This thing have me laughing. My neighbors hearing me. This hour the night I laughing hard. Here now, man. I always know when the thing bust, people will be angry. It have a mister. He have an unusual voice. He calling on all programs. I listened to a program this evening and he only talking since on the ground report this morning. It's how people feeling, boy.
You will never see that.
Oh God.
I never see that.
When I used to see things and hear things they're doing, and the citizens, they know. It wasn't easy, Lennox, I used to have to take some good dose of all kind of drink, boy, to calm myself.
Yeah.
You hear? Oh God! Lennox, you're angry. Don't let her make your pressure go up. Take a little dose or something, boy.
I got good sleep tonight.
Listen, after you sleep, you going and sleep, boy?
Yeah, I get him back for 2 o'clock, but I'm going to take a 5. I ain't sleep for the day.
Well, here now, if Molina tell you he get that info from the Venezuelan Gazette, they can't beat that. It's truth.
Of course.
I always used to tell all you the information is there. Let the UNC wake up. That is why I used to be talking. Maybe they hear me when I say they're sleepy. Wake up. The information is there. That's you can't pet something, when you want something, you have to go at it.
Go at it.
So Mulilal know he go at it and he find out. Right? He get it out of the horse's mouth. They can't beat that what he have.
Nah.
They can't, all how they try and turn it. Yeah, they can't beat what he have. I always see them with the bacchanal they're doing from day one when they go over there. Right? After time, when I get into this call and I'm talking info on the ground report, I get and I research and I see Champa Kojo, all of them inside of there. I used to tell all of that, they sit down.
Yes.
And they're planning all kind of things. Yeah? It's not one deal they do, it's not only the drug and gas deal, it's all kind of different deal. But I'm watching something with this carnival. As I say, I ain't talking again, I listening. So Lennox, you say you're going and sleep, I wish you a good rest and everything. You take care.
I will get one, I will get one. But let's go back, of course. I think I have vented sufficiently. And I think I could be more venomous than I have been. Because I have nothing but contempt for these whole ass bunch of nincompoops. Then but you have a disclosure, but it's all out in the public, and then your mouth going like a duck bottom, and like you eat parrot backside and want to come in front of people and talk. I sure people just laughing at all you and waiting for the time when, of course, they will deliver
Monday,
the final
29th January 2024, Caracas. I have it in my hand. This is the official gazette of the Venezuelan government, in which they have published the agreement between the government of Venezuela and the government of Trinidad and Tobago over the Dragon deal. When Stuart Young and Rowley say this thing is secret, we can't tell you, we cannot disclose. I have in my hand this document of about 35 pages, which is the deal. This is the Dragon deal that Stuart Young and Keith Rowley refused to tell the people of Trinidad and Tobago. As Mr. Tanku said, this has all the ingredients. Do you remember, members of the press, the scandals involving sandals? Where in Barbados, they had to tell us what's happening in Trinidad. Well, in Caracas, we need to find out what's happening in Maracas. We need to know what is happening in Trinidad from Venezuela. This is where we reach. And this is not the only matter that disturbs us this morning. In this matter, the Ministry of the People Power of Petroleum is stating, and I quote, resolution by which for strategic reasons specific to the gaseous hydrocarbon field, the license for exploration and exploitation of non-associated gaseous hydrocarbons of the Dragon field belonging to the Mariscal Sucre area is granted directly and indivisible with a prior authorization from the Council of Ministers to the companies. Here the company the license is granted to. NGC Exploration and Production Limited, a company duly incorporated under the laws of Trinidad and Tobago and registered in Point Lisas, Trinidad and Tobago.
How's until 2020? You go this camp. You know?
And Shell Venezuela, they are making a deal with a company called NGC Exploration and Production. No one in Trinidad and Tobago know of a company named NGC Exploration and Production. NGC is a company in this country that exists, if you look at their website, for the business of distributing, marketing, selling gas.
Yes, indeed, of course. Yeah, I know that.
They market it, they distribute, they transport.
Let me just get this call. Let me just get this call going. Okay, caller. I know that it was the line, yes. But let me say what I was saying. Of course, there is none as blind as he or she who refuses to see. That's the caller before. And of course, I also said, incited, of course, but I could say it now, that here it is, that caller's leader is a rapist and a pedophile, but he wants to talk, and I say it's a good thing to go to heaven. You don't have to depend on them, because Trinidad and Tobago would have become Sodom and Gomorrah when people would turn a pillar of salt to, of course, go to heaven before they go to heaven. So I am not. I'm not minded or in any way deterred. Let's go straight, of course, to the lines. Sorry, go back to...
Of course, and they sell. That is NGC. NGC is not a production and exploration company. Where does company come from? Why have they been keeping it a secret? Why we must ask Venezuela for their gazette? Why? Why the dishonesty? Why the lack of disclosure? Why the lack of accountability? That Stuart Young cannot tell us that a company is registered that we don't know about. The people of Trinidad and Tobago never heard of this company. Heritage Petroleum on its website said that their role is the production, exploration of oil and gas. Traditionally, Petrotrin, with all the various arms of Petrotrin, would deal with what is called the gas production exploration. NGC is a middleman seller. They go to the market, they bring the product. When you produce, they take it to the market and sell and make a profit. That's how it's done. NGC is not equipped. NGC doesn't have the human resource.
Yes, indeed, of course. Let's go straight to the lines. Let me just get to this particular. Okay, let me just deal with this. Pleasant good night. Welcome to the corridor. Welcome to the corridor.
Hey, good night, my good night, my friend.
Good night to you as well, my friend.
Boy,
having a good time tonight.
from it earlier, I was going to say one thing, right?
Go ahead.
The word you was looking for is damage control.
Damage control, yeah, that's the word.
Trying damage control.
Yeah, damage control. That's right. Yes, that's right. That's right.
Damage control. But here, it don't hit the fan already.
Yeah.
You understand?
They're like dog bottom.
So everything going to spill.
And they eat parrot.
Right. So everything going to spill and it's going to fall where it should. Right? Because you could fool the people, how it is always said. You could fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all the people all
of the time. That's right. Yes.
And when, let me tell you, all this talk they're talking, right? The truth must prevail one day. And everything, let me tell you something. I tell you about what they say a long time. They say when the devil don't use you, he does abuse you. And I feel that time has reached. Right? Because when it's not sounding good, if you listen to the guy talk, the guy is speaking because he don't even know what to say on the public platform. You just come out with this kind of enthusiasm. You're not seeing that anymore because they know very well that the time is near. Right? And I want to commend you for your good work. And I want to commend you. I want to say hello to Miss Anna Cruz and Miss Arima. Right? For making and being ahead of the game. They're always ahead of the game. I do feel sometimes when you talk, you see do fall and go wrong. It is fall and go wrong, but it is take a little time sometimes to grow. Right? So everything will be good. Don't worry, everything will reveal in its time. Everything going to be revealed in its time because you can't continue doing these things. How they say the longest rope have an end.
That's right.
Right, my friend?
That's right.
And I want to thank you for your good work. Thank you for your good work. Don't worry yourself. Everything going to come out because you're seeing right now. And if people will wake up and open their eyes and see what is really going on in this place, these people are taking us for fools.
That's right.
But it cannot continue. It cannot continue. Hey, watchman, what is taking place now? Lennox, you're going to see some drastic thing going to take place in the near future. This year is going to be a different year.
Of course.
This year is going to be a different year. Because you see, all the things they're doing to
Yes, indeed, of course. We have lost that caller, but of course, I think we got the gist of what he's trying to say. But let's try to complete
exploration and production of gas. They are sellers, by and large. Today, we are told of a ghost company. It may not be ghost, but we never hear about it, called NGC Exploration and Production. I will come back to this agreement now. But what is amazing is that those of us in the UNC, and I keep telling the National Committee, we don't talk without paper. We don't talk without paper. And I think before I say this one, I need to have a sip. I need my voice well moist for this one. When we checked at the company records in Trinidad and Tobago, what did we find? Now, we had to look for this because Chiochong will not tell us. They will not tell the people of Trinidad and Tobago. November 9th, 2023, that is just a couple of months ago. Register General Department, articles of...
Yes, and of course, we have to go to the lines. Of course, pause again. But of course, that is the nature of the job, of the task. President, good night. Welcome.
Yes, sir. How you doing tonight?
Well, of course, we're just having fun with, of course, a bunch of nincompoops calling themselves ministers and prime minister.
Listen, I'm calling from New York, man, and I don't understand why we have to give Venezuela 65 million US dollars.
Exactly. We too. We too here in Trinidad don't understand that either. Why we have to give? It appears that Dr. Rowley is in a haste to empty the treasury of Trinidad and Tobago. Well, we know why. That's why you have to put in front of all of their names: Bobol, Stuart Young, Bobol, Keith Christopher Rowley, Bobol, Alwari, and we can go on and on. But let's see if we can finish this. Otherwise, I'll play it again tomorrow night.
And Production Limited. In November, registering a company. We have the articles of incorporation. Certificate of incorporation. Never told us anything. Notice of address, change of address, and so on. The person giving the information is one Venetia Adele Painter, I think. The directors of the company, Joseph.
Yes, indeed. All right, we have another pause. We have to, of necessity, take and acknowledge. A pleasant good night. Welcome.
Yes, Lennox, good night. I get cut off.
Yes, I realize that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm calling from New York, man.
Yes.
What's going on with these people? What's going on with this government? Why we have to give Maduro 65 million US dollars? That's almost 10 billion TT dollars.
That's right. That's right.
Jesus Christ. I don't understand. I'm listening to you guys here, and I'm seeing what's going on, and I'm listening to this prime minister talking about he came to the US for crime, and was nothing about crime. Everything was about dragon grass.
That's right. And Maduro are trying to salvage.
Yeah. The hospital need medical stuff, people
Children
need help,
need laptops,
so much people need help, man, and this man gonna just give away 65. That's a lot of money.
Yes.
Lennox, I don't know what's going on with these people in this country, man. This is ridiculous, man. I don't know, man. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Something is not right. Like something like, I don't know, like this guy, the Lokoto zombie is working or what?
Well, on him. On him, because every time he tries these days, he's always caught with his with his pants down, his hands up, and of course his chest exposed.
Yeah.
That's what's happening here. Yeah. You see,
all right, man. I just called to say, that's ridiculous, man. The people need so much help in the country, and this man is gonna just give away 65 million US dollars. Come on, are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's the evil we have at the helm of our affairs. Greedy and believe that is their personal parlor. They can't even run a good rum shop, but they want to run Trinidad and Tobago. And you see, it's only bubble.
Yeah, man, this is crazy. Yes. This is crazy, man. I listen to you guys all the time. So you have a blessed night, man. And you know, I wish you guys all the best. You know, and
thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Have a good night. Bye.
Yeah, same to you, my friend. Let me see if I could finish up this this segment. And I want to say, of course, I still need some support for those for, of course, the new office that we are moving to, the ground report, and of course a number of projects that we are doing. I've been talking with these young men, as I said yesterday. Of course, I want to thank, of course, all those who would have made financial contributions, and of course, to give you a very warm sentiments and your optimism and your hope that these young men will transform. And now that we are inside the belly of the beast, so to speak, and of course to show Dr. Rowley and what they must do. Of course, they need a little kakada in order, of course, to eat and so on. Nothing much, but the fact of the matter is that, of course, you cannot have them work. All conscience will not be correct if you do that. And of course, you'll be maybe demonstrating conduct similar to Rowley and where they want them, of course, to vote for them, but give them nothing. Give them nothing. Yes, let's hear this guy. A pleasant good night. Welcome to the corridor. Welcome to the corridor.
Lennox.
Yay, welcome. Yes.
Lennox.
Yes, I'm hearing you. Go ahead.
Remind people that you convicted of fraud.
Yeah,
you were convicted of fraud.
but
remind people of
your leader is a rapist and a pedophile. So it's best you was convicted of fraud. Your leader is a rapist and a pedophile. you want to say? I say your leader is a rapist and a pedophile. He wouldn't take me to court at all. But you can see in the next couple, I would say weeks, yes, the next couple of weeks, what will happen to your leader? Yeah? You play powerful stupid. You play powerful stupid and you won't give your name. Let me take him to court. Let's go straight to the lines. Yeah, go ahead. Let me hear you. Yeah. So I was convicted of fraud. Go again. Is your leader a rapist and a pedophile? Your leader is a rapist and a pedophile. You accept that? You're lying to yourself. You're lying to yourself, man. Give me a chance. Get out of here. Let me go back to serious business. Yes, indeed.
Who's that? Mark Loquan, chemical engineer. They have his address. I think I won't call that. Mark Loquan and Joseph Khan are directors of a company registered in 9th of November 2023. They have a return of issuance or transfer of shares document dated January 5th, 2024. So they are going about in secret registering companies that the Venezuelans tell us about. We didn't hear about this. And they, of course, put the class and number of shares, amount of ordinary shares, blah, blah, blah. Those are the things that people in this area will know about. But the point I am making is we have the documents. Why did they hide it? Why did they hide it? We got it. The other matter I raise in passing, because the members of the press and national community will have a field day with it. 20 of the agreement states that on condition, there's a condition that not now, but when they go and they find their gas, scientific process, before they do anything, before anything is done, members of the press, there is a condition for the payment of a bonus, Article 20. And I will bring it up and read it properly, because these are matters you can't misquote and so on. And so, yeah. Article 20 states, Article 20, discovery of oil condensate associated with natural gas and so on, and unassociated natural gas. The licensees must immediately inform the ministry. Well, we're clear on that. They have 180 days to inform and make an offer for its evaluation and exploitation. So then you make an offer for exploitation and taking it out, pricing.
Hey, Lennox Smith,
Pleasant good night.
brother.
Pleasant good night.
Don't worry about don't worry don't worry about that guy who calling there, man. You know, see what happened with MP and them people and them. What happened is you see the brain, just take out that and they just put one set of pups. And not only regular pups, I talking about pups of all kind of areas and things like that. See what burning them right now, right? See the Lekoto zombie leader got caught, and not only got caught, getting catch all the time, right?
All the time.
So what happening right now? That making them jittery, you know, because they can't. You see, you have to understand with these PNM people, they can't handle when the truth come in front of their face. Whether it's Indian, African, Chinese, Syrian, whatever. Let me just say PNM in a whole. You know what I mean? That kind of class of stupidity, right? And when files busting here, Munilal jamming them, you know. And you know, they can't take that at all. But yo, keep up the good work. You done already. Love in the house, and give my best to Andy and tell me that the ground report is #1, and they can't tell all you. That is why they call it with obscenity and thing. This is the logics of a PNM. You know what I'm saying? They can't come and battle you with facts, right? And they will come at you and will start battling you or putting you down on anything with cussing and profanity and things that really truly don't make sense. You know what I'm saying?
I know about the,
and it's like,
go ahead. Sorry.
Boy, got a rat better than these people, boy. I tell you straight up. I rather mine I got a rat like a little pet than these people and them. And that is what we doing, you know. All them got a rat and them, we're killing people and robbing people. You see, I have a video today, a businessman walking across the road, right? And two fellas, pure daylight, run up on the man. Well, I guess he going to make a deposit, take away the man bag and all kind of thing, pull out a gun right in. Pure daylight, everybody are wrong. And that normal. You know what I'm saying? Like, people really have to wake up here in this country, way, because I telling you, I used to live in Canada, and I feeling like going back, and I don't want to go back because I love Trinidad, and I want to retire here and live here for the rest of my life. What do my key and Andy?
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much, my friend. Thank you very much, my friend. Of course.
Yeah, man. I telling you, yeah, man.
The tune as a friend, people stand across.
Yeah, man. me want your man on YouTube. They done jumping all your on the ground report and thing like that already. You can't even say you know what I mean? You can't even say Rowley in the next kind of wood. And they will ban all you. Them people don't notice for spite.
Yes. All right, my friend. Thank you very much. Because for those words, I think you're real and you are practical, but of course, when the truth hits, I mean, it's like a dagger in the chest, of course, and these people will, of course, continue to try to defend the indefensible, which, of course, is an impossible proposition, but that is reality. And let's go straight, of course, here. Pleasant good night. Yay.
You ever see the movie they call Horror Dracula?
Yes.
They bring down that movie in Strand, I think it's in 1957.
Yeah.
And that ambulance, I think, park up on the
Paula, just hold on. I have another person on the telephone as soon as you finish, right? Hold on. Yeah, go ahead. You finish?
Yeah, that ambulance.
All right, no problem.
Park up at the gas station here at 1 Street. People was fainting inside the cinema.
Yeah.
And they had to bring them out.
Right.
Well, Peter Cushing was chasing Christopher Lee. And he threw across on the cup. He can't go inside there again. You want him inside the house. And in there, sunlight coming. You know what he do? He pull all the blinds. And the sunlight say Dracula. And this is what happened here.
Yeah, that's what happened. Sunlight in them. Yeah, sunlight in them. Yeah, like salt and crapo back.
Yeah, that's all over asking you here.
Yeah.
He's one of Dracula victims.
Yeah.
Exposure.
Yeah, that happened even.
And the last caller who was a good caller.
Yes.
But that fellow who tried to play Easter right in the meat potatoes, stole that body there, boy.
Yeah. That's how it is. I mean, and your leader is a raper man and a pedophile, but you still going down with that. And that tells birds of feather flock together. Birds of feather flock together. You're rapist and pedophile.
Yeah. So time after them,
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. That's what happened there. So, yes. All right, let me take the other caller. I have a caller from the United States. Let me take that one. All right, yes, indeed. Of course, go ahead, caller from the United States. A pleasant good night.
Good night, Mr. Lennox.
Yes, good
I want
night
to
to
say
you.
good night to everybody live, everybody chat, everybody regionally. Yeah, I want to say good night to everybody live. Good night to everybody live, everybody chat, everybody regionally internationally. Mr. Lennox, I ain't taking too long because I know I'm watching time. But Mr. Lennox, you see what I tell you? Trinidad supporting Venezuelan financially.
Yes.
You
did say that. You did say that, yes.
Trinidad and Venezuela, we supporting. Yes, supporting Tobago now. And Mr. Lennox, let me tell you why these people, these sycophants that I'm calling for. Out of all the bands and them in Trinidad and Tobago, who's the two bands that picked to play music? The Lenadan and Karma. So let me see who I really like. Who gave everybody the money they know tonight? So that had them hot. Had them hot day tonight, Mr. Lennox. So now they're going to see who Rowley really likes. All right, Mr. Lennox, have a good day.
Well, of course, I always say there's none as blind as he or she who refuses to see. And of course, once you have one blinders, it's difficult, of course, for you to have a total 20/20 vision. But of course, that is how the cuckoo crumbles. But of course, I wanted to let them know, you could only be a fool for yourself. You could never get me to be a fool for you. And if you want, and you choose to, of course, a rapist and a pedophile as your leader, then that speaks volume as to who you are. And I will not, of course, condone. In fact, I want to tell you as well, it appears that all they stink, all they ugly, and all they totally idiotic, just as all of them, and the nonsense that Stuart Young has been talking, that of course, that was a non-disclosure, but yet still, you're up and down the place disclosing the non-disclosure. Damn asses. And you want to come here and talk other than the facts and the reality because you're trying to, what, deflect attention? No. In fact, I'll play it again tomorrow. So people, of course, it is already 26 minutes past. We started on time. So I'll have to preempt, of course, Muilal. I find we get too much disturbance. But, of course, I'll have it crisp and ready for you tomorrow night when, of course, we'll play the entire thing. And, of course, have a look at Rowley. It is various, of course, what I consider metamorphosis. In fact, not just metamorphosis, I think it's mutative state, mutating from one evil to the next, including, of course, getting into jail. Watch him there. Watch him there. That is where he has to go, all as he is, and we must not feel 1 ounce of compassion for such an evil that has destroyed, and, of course, engaged and could never do anything less because he has this proclivity, this propensity, and this, of course, inclination for evil. It's as if it is DNA enshrined, DNA embedded in him. Everything he touches is destruction, including, of course, the fellow who called, because look how he destroy him. He destroy him because he is prepared to defend that malevolent, criminal, evil, diabolical. The fella is destroyed. Rowley destroy him. Rowley destroy the fella. Understand that. Sorry for you, brother man. But of course, we can do nothing for you because clearly you want to be a fool for yourself. Well, go ahead. But I will not be one for you, nor anybody else in this world. If that being as it may, of course, let's go straight, of course. Don't forget tomorrow morning, the ground report, Andy, Mikey, and myself, of course. Don't forget as well that, of course, the issues we will continue, of course, to treat with and to, of course, make certain that you are well informed because it is right for that to be, having regard to the fact that Rowley, and they have disappointed, and of course have not only disappointed, but have of course engaged in activities that clearly is inimical to the interests of Trinidad and Tobago. And we
no light of my people. Too much of one thing, good for nothing. Too much of good thing, never enough. I don't know why my black people cannot see. No party never care about we. Every election we so devoted. How we love up the PNM. As soon as election come and go, is only problem after problem. How could we cope? Man lost their work, I ain't seeing no solution. Every time PNM come in power, it takes a toll on black man. I don't want to sound like a racist, but this is what I can see. They just take care of the race, cause they damn well know they have we. I want to ring my bell, wake up Eric Williams. Tell him the party found him, PNM needed immediate attention. Ring my bell, wake up Mother Cornhawk. Hell, she took cast a spell on we party, cause it's not what it used to be. I ring my bell, ring my bell. I ring my bell down there. I ring my bell, ring my bell. I ring my bell down there. This thing is becoming out of hand. It's time this damn nonsense stop. If you don't sing a PNM song, from Skinner Park you'll be dropped. Calypsonian could have sing what they want. We were the spokesman for the people. Eric Duffy, Chambers Duncy. When Kamala drunk, how she likes to pee. Calypsonian know that's no way to go. Too much happening in we country. All this killing spree, young woman bodies, but only about PNM you could sing. All them songs playing on the radio, all you singing we Kamala do. But when PNM do a wrong thing, I hear in a word from you. I want to ring me bell, wake up Mother Castell. Every Monday she preach on WAC radio, and is the biggest critic of Calypso. Ring me bell for Patsy and Joni. I want them two cultural lovers to know, not only PNM song is Calypso. I ring my bell, ring my bell. I ring my bell down there. I ring my bell, ring my bell. I ring my bell down there. Crime will never stop in this country once black people belly empty. How could a man work in CPEP, maintain his whole family? All you say the past regime was so bad, so much wrong thing they done to we. Now that PNM take over, white poor people going hungry. When PNM win, all African grin. Now we get back we country. All they doing is complaining and ain't doing nothing for we. The mess already made, don't sit in the shade and ponder on the problem. Get off your ass and do it fast and find a way to solve them. I want to ring my bell, wake up Randolph Burrows. Tell him among all past police commissioners, up to now is he I prefer. Ring my bell, wake up the Lord Bryna. Tell him the state of Calypso today is a good thing he passed away.
What is democracy? What is human rights? And to whom is it directed? Some defend them with alacrity while they making a mockery of democracy.
our country together again. If for 30 years you voting them in, and there's only tears as soon as they win, they give you big words and enslave your souls, promising you roads and giving potholes. If they are the reason why the economy won't sprout, when you're voting, vote them out, vote them out. If it is the passing laws that them alone can flout, when you're voting, vote them out, vote them out. If it is the building ISOs, east, west, north and south, the same way you vote them in, vote them out. Register and vote them out. Totally vote them out. State your finger and vote them out. Rescue the country, vote them out. Vote them out with tempo, they have we in vain. Let's put our country together again. Vote them out with calypso.
He back? Yeah, I'm proud of something too. He back. He went back. You only in jail, boy. He went back. Me no, me feel off for what? Me I type of that. I can say when I long when the first started, I used to be like, oh, but not now. Me I type of that. You think Rowley care? Once he's prime minister, he don't care. Yeah, that. I just like Rowley. Me I type of that. Yeah, that's what I say. Your leaders are with Papa, and I think they can't take that, you know.